So let me start by asking this question. Okay. Are there differences between men and women? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an obvious question, right? Okay. So what? So let's talk about some of the differences. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about communication. Do men and women communicate differently?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. In which way? So let's hear from a woman's perspective or a lady's perspective, and then a man. Yeah. Okay. Who talks more? Okay. Okay. What else is different? Do men want to talk about their feelings?
No.
Okay. So what does men want to do when they're having a conversation? What is it?
End it.
End it. So they, a man is really to the point. A woman is always making that communication as a relational. So we want to talk about, feelings, and it's more of a relational thing. What else?
Women like to vent about their problems and men like to fix them.
Exactly. Okay.
I seen I was at the laundromat the other day, and I seen like an old man, a really old man, and he looked grumpy. I think he was like a veteran or something, and he was with his wife, and they were walking, and there was a bunch of women like staring at this baby, and then as they're walking, she's staring, she's like, "Oh my God, baby's so cute, sweetie," and he just kept going, he just kept walking, and she he didn't even look or acknowledge, he was just like mad, like he was walking, and then she was like, "Sweetie, look at it, baby's so cute," and he was just like, "I don't want to look at no baby." And then he just kept walking. And then all the women were like, and then I was like doing my laundry, and I wanted to laugh so hard. I was like,
Okay. So another one. Yeah.
How about
Men
a
are
long?
built different.
What is it?
Men are built different.
Men are built differently. Yes, absolutely.
Like you
Okay.
said,
Physical standpoint. Yeah.
Men are directly to the point most of the time. Like with women, you kind of being a man, you have to try to figure out what's wrong.
Absolutely. Okay. Do men get hints when you're trying to hint?
No.
I can testify. A man sometimes like, you didn't see this. You didn't. I'm like, no. It needs to be like in my face to get it. Hints don't work for me. Yeah. So I'm lousy.
Most men cannot multitask.
Okay.
No matter what they say, they just
that's
can't.
me over there.
Yeah. Well,
It's got
Yeah.
one thing.
yeah. Most men can't. Right. Okay. Do you think men value more success or being valued? Okay. So we have two groups here. Okay. Well, it depends really on the person, but predominantly, men are always looking at success. Right? A woman is looking to be valued. Yeah, you could have differences, but I'm talking about in general terms. What else? What's the biggest fear for men?
Failure.
Yes. That's
My
yeah.
psychologist.
Thank you.
Therapist.
Okay, so what's the biggest fear for women?
I think she went
Not
through
being
the
loved.
So what's the biggest fear for women? Huh?
Not being valued.
Not being valued or being neglected. Okay, and we're gonna see that as we get into God's word. Okay, so how do men and women value time? Do they value time differently?
Yeah.
Okay, which way? Okay, so how would men use time
Like get things done.
to get things done? Okay, how would women mostly value time?
Look good.
Shopping.
Straight to the point. Shopping.
Okay.
For Amanda. Hey, talking about me.
Okay, so how do you think? Okay. They invest a lot in relationships, right? Women invest a lot in relationships. Okay, when you ask a man, you may find they have one friend, maybe two friends, and how often do they meet with them? Not very often. Okay, But if you ask a lady, she's going to have a whole bunch of friends and talking on the phone and texting and then Instagram and Messenger and all going at the same time. You know, usually men are not like this. At least me, I'm not like this. So we are different. Okay. Now we want to learn more about. Okay. Now, as a man, what does a woman needs? And as a woman, what does a man needs? Okay? And as we get into God's word, there is a lot of things that I believe God is going to really open up for us to learn from. So let's start from Ephesians, where we ended last week. Ephesians 5. We're going to look at one verse toward the end of Ephesians 5. Verse 33. Ephesians 5, verse 33.
To sum up, each of you is to love his wife as himself, and the wife is to respect her husband.
Okay. So there he tells two different things here. For the man to love his wife as he loves himself. What does that mean? You know when you're running around and then you hit your hand and it hurts? What do you do to your hand? You hold it. You put ointment on it. You don't cut it off, right? You don't beat it up. You don't, right? You take care of yourself. Do I think the same way when I look at my, future wife or girlfriend at this moment, or wife if you're married? Do I look at the same thing? Do I care and love for her as I care for my own body when it hurts? How do I deal with that? Then he says, and let the wife see that let the wife see that she respects her husband. So on the other side, a man is always looking to be respected. So the first point we want to look at, and we're going to spend a little bit of time, is what a man needs is respect. Okay? So respect and appreciation. So go to Songs of Songs. Songs of Songs 5. And we're going to spend a lot of time in Songs of Songs. And in Songs of Songs 5, she is describing her beloved. And look at verse 9 and 10. Songs of Songs. Everyone's there? Okay. Let's someone who can read 9 and 10. No one?
I'll go.
Okay.
What is your beloved more than another beloved? O most beautiful young among women. What is your beloved more than another beloved? That you thus adjure us. My beloved is radiant and ruddy, distinguished among 10,000.
Okay. Or chief among 10,000. Is this respecting him? He is so lifted up that he is honored. He is chief among 10,000. One of the things that a husband or a boyfriend loves to hear is how special he is. Now, on the other side, he has to be that person. Okay? And we're going to kind of, as we flip on the other side, we're going to see the reciprocal of that. Okay? But a man is always looking to be respected. That's why I don't like for a man, for example, she doesn't do that, but I just want to give an example. to come and really put me down, even when I make a mistake. Because that always has an effect on a man and where his respect is in the relationship. Okay? So always the man is looking in the relationship to be respected. Okay? Why? Because God put him as the head of the house. Kind of what we talked about last week. So when he's not respected, then he cannot do the next step, which is loving his wife. And the other side is also correct. Okay? When he doesn't love his wife, she's not going to be able to respect him. Go to Proverbs 12. Which is the book basically right before that. Proverbs 12. Verse 4.
An excellent wife is the crown of her husband, but she who brings shame is like rottenness in his bones.
Okay? Listen to what it says. An excellent wife or a valid wife is the crown of her husband. Okay? What does a crown to a husband do? Think about it. So the wife is the crown, means he is lifting her up, right? Okay? But also she is giving him glory in front of everyone else. You know, that's why, you know, like Iman, when we go out, you know, she goes, oh, you know, I have the best husband. Now, am I the best husband? No. Okay? No. But to her, that's the case. Okay? That's a crown, right? Okay? That's a crown. That's why later on we'll read another verse in Proverbs 31 of a husband known in the gate, which means when he sits with people of predominant level, he is known, he's uplifted, you know, because of how his wife respects him, how his wife honors him, you know. And it's interesting in this verse, he goes, but she who causes shame is like rottenness in his bones. You know the actual word of rottenness here? You know when someone has high blood sugar and it starts to eat at his bones and he gets weaker?
Mine says cancer.
Like, exactly. Cancer in the bones. That's exactly what happens when a man is not respected. Okay? It's almost like feeling like I'm insignificant. I'm a nobody. You know? And that almost becomes like a cancer in his body. Why? Because God created him to be respected. Okay? Go to Proverbs 31. Last chapter in Proverbs. Notice something too. When he says she's a crown, the crown sits on where? His head, where all the wisdom is, right? So the wife many times is a source of wisdom in the house. Okay, that's where the crown sits, right? Just look at verse 23, Proverbs 31:23.
Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land.
The husband is known in the gates, where those elders sit, where all of the, you know, government issues happens at the gate. That's what happens back then. The city gate is where all the, you know, talking about how the situations of and issues of that city. He is well known. Why? Because you have to start that chapter. Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. Verse 10. That gives him prominence and respect. Okay. Now, on the other coin for that, okay, what does a woman needs? Okay. Okay. Well, let's start with this. She looks for security, for protection. Okay. She looks for security, for protection. for someone to be a shield. Okay? Go to Songs of Songs. Chapter 2. Look at verse 3.
Like an apple tree among the trees of the forest, so is my beloved among the young men. I delight to sit in his shade, and his fruit is sweet to my taste.
Okay? So she lifts him up, right? So she goes, like an apple tree among the trees in the woods. Okay? So is my beloved among the sons. He's like no one else. Okay? And then she goes, I enjoy to sit where?
In the shade.
In his shade, under his wings of protection. You know, she enjoys the fulfillment that comes that he's protecting her, that there is security for her, there is protection for her. Okay. Look at Roose. So Roose is where? Right after Judges. Okay. So find Judges toward the beginning and find the book of Roose. It's very small, so if you blink, you're gonna miss it. Got it? Chapter 3. It's a great book to read, actually. But look at verses 9 to 11.
So he asked, "Who are you?" "I am Ruth, your slave," she replied. "Spread your cloak over me, for you are my family redeemer." And then he said, "May the Lord bless you, my daughter. You have shown more kindness now than before, because you have not pursued younger men, rather rich or poor."
And 11.
Now don't be afraid, my daughter. I will do for you whatever you say, since all the people in my town know that you are a woman of noble character.
So in this story, okay, Ruth was a Moabite who came back to Jerusalem with her mother-in-law. Okay, she wasn't married because her husband have died, and the next of kin should be the one marrying her. So she comes, she finds Boaz, who is an older man, okay, however, who is actually has a relationship to her family. And then she goes, she literally sleeps at the end of the bed, and then she tells him, basically, I am looking to get married to you. Spread your cloak on me, okay? Which is basically her saying, I'm looking for that relationship. And then he tells her, do not fear. Remember, she's a Moabite. She's a stranger to the Jews, okay? She shouldn't have any of this. Because a Moabite shouldn't be married to a Jew, shouldn't have any of the blessings of a Jew. However, the grace of God in this situation gave her all of that. And actually, she became part of the lineage of who? Christ. Roose. So here, the first thing he tells her, do not be afraid. I will do what you're looking for. That's security. That's protection. That's what a woman in a relationship is looking for, is someone to protect, someone to give her that sense of security. Okay? Someone to hide her. Remember, we read the verse in Songs of Songs, hiding her in the cliff of the rock, that safe place where she can speak, she can share. Okay? She feels like, that's okay, that's my home. Okay? I'm secure here. That's what a woman needs. Now, Peter talks about it, okay? And he talks about it in a way telling the husband, be careful if you don't do that, okay? So go to 1 Peter. We read a little bit last week, but 1 Peter 3. 1 Peter 3, verse, tell you, verse 7.
Husbands likewise dwell with them with understanding, giving honor to the wife as to the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers may not be hindered.
Okay, what is he telling the man here? What is he telling the man concerning his wife in that relationship?
If you don't honor your wife, God will honor you.
Exactly. So there is an effect when I am not doing what I am supposed to do so far as dwelling with them with understanding. Okay, is I'm going to start praying and God is not going to listen. That's how important it is when a man is providing that protection and security for his wife. That goes the same with a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, by the way. Okay? Because a lot of times in that relationship, when we start dating, okay, a lot of times we're not understanding that I need, as a woman looking at a man, I need to respect him, the way I'm speaking. Okay? I need to lift him up in front of people. And sometimes we go the other way around and we use words to put him down in front of people. Or maybe putting him down in front of his own family or my family in that relationship. And I have to be very careful when I'm doing that, okay, what is going on inside that person. Also, at the same time, when the man is not respecting his wife, when the man is not protecting her, providing that safe place for her. One of the things with many men, it's anger. When a situation happens, we get angry. And when we get angry, what happens to that protection and security that we should be providing? Is it still there? Not there. Okay? Because now we attack when we get angry. I need to always provide that safe place and know how to remember the verse in James. Is it quick to speak? What is it? Slow to speak. Quick to listen. Okay? And slow to do what? To get angry. Okay? So always listen a lot more than you speak. Listen. Because a lot of times when you listen, you're going to get the answer. Because when you get angry so quickly, okay, you're on fire here, but this is not functioning well. Okay? So you're not really comprehending what really happened. That's what happens really when you get angry so quickly. So the minute you say, I need to listen, and you start listening to what the other person is saying, okay, then you're going to respond a lot more wiser than you respond immediately and with anger. Because that removes that protection. Right? Any questions so far? Okay, let's go to the next point. So a man is looking to feel needed. Okay, a man wants to feel that he's needed. Okay, if he feels like he is an accessory in the house, he feels like, well, okay, I'm not going to do anything now. Okay, so a man is looking to feel that he is needed. Now let's look at how did she make in the Songs of Songs, how did she make him feel that he's needed? So go Songs of Songs, chapter 3. You with me so far? Mm-hmm. Okay. Look at verses 1 to 4.
While in bed at night, I reached for the one I love with heart and soul. I looked for him, but he wasn't there. So I searched through the town for the one I love. I looked on every street, but he wasn't there. I even asked the guards patrolling the town, have you seen the one I love so much? Right after that, I found him. I held him and would not let go until I had taken him to the home of my mother.
Okay. What's one phrase that keeps repeating?
She lost him.
Huh? There is one phrase that keeps repeating. What is it?
When I love
The one I love. What is it? The one I love. What do you think as a man when the woman in the relationship is calling you the one I love? Okay. No response from men? Okay. You're in a relationship and the woman in the relationship is always calling you, okay, and calling you in front of others. Oh, this is the one I love.
feels good.
Right? Okay. The one I love. Okay. That's respecting and lifting him up, right? Okay. Now look at what she did in verse 4. When she found him. When I found the one I love, what did she do? Exactly. I held him and would not let him go. Does this look like someone who is needed? Okay. She was looking for him. She found him and she goes, I'm going to hold on to him. I need him. I can't let him go. Okay. A man is always looking to be needed. Okay. To feel there is a need for him when he is there. Okay. Look at something else. Okay. Look at Roose again. Okay. So the few verses right before that. So go back to Roose. Do you think the verses we read, verse 9, okay? Roose 3, sorry. I am Roose, your maidservant. Take me under your wing, for you are a close relative. Do you think she is showing that she needs him? Yes. Right? Okay. A man is always looking to be needed. Okay. You're with me so far? Now let's look quickly what a woman needs on the other side. A woman would need for someone to be faithful. Okay. Now what does that mean? She's trustworthy. Okay. What does it mean to be faithful? Yes.
Reliable.
Okay. Reliable. Yeah. What is it?
Like security, so he shows up and he's there for her.
He's there for her. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. How about being truthful? Okay. How would a woman feels when she feels like she's lied to? Okay. Okay. Look at remember when we read before about Jacob and Esau a few weeks back? I want to show you something with Jacob and Esau's mom. Okay? And what happened with her. So go to Genesis. Genesis 26. Look at verse 6 to 9. So Isaac here dwelt in a city called Gerar. Okay? And then he basically, we're going to read what happened there. Starting verse 7.
When the men of that place asked him about his wife, he said, "She is my sister," because he was afraid to say, "She is my wife." he thought, the men of this place might kill me on account of Rebekah because she is beautiful. Do I keep going?
Yeah.
When Isaac had been there a long time, Abimelech, king of Philistines, looked down from a window and saw Isaac caressing his wife Rebekah. So Abimelech summoned Isaac and said, "She is really your wife. Why did you say she is my sister?" And Isaac answered him, "Because I thought I might lose my life on account of her."
Let's stop there. Okay. What happened here?
He lied about
That's messed up. Who said that's messed up? Okay. Yes?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why would they kill him if that was his wife?
Because she's beautiful. So then he thought they're gonna kill him and the king would marry her.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yes.
I was like, well, I'm killing
Yes.
him because his wife's pretty. Like,
Exactly. Okay. Now let me tell you. Okay. How do you think Rebecca felt in that situation?
Very awkward.
Very awkward. Did she feel that she's valued?
No.
Okay. No. Okay. Was what he said truthful? No. Do you think this would affect their relationship?
Yes.
Absolutely. And it did. Their relationship from that moment on has never been the same. Even though it started with one of the most, if you read Genesis 24 and how they met, one of the most beautiful story.
And that affected
Okay.
their sense of security.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, why? What was Isaac thinking in that situation?
Take care of himself.
Self. Okay. What is a woman is looking for? Security. Was he providing that? No. Okay. Yes.
Why would she be offended? Wasn't he trying to protect her?
Yeah. No. Why? What do you? How do you think he is trying to protect her? Protect her from what?
Because then he would die and he wouldn't support her.
No. He was afraid for his life.
That's funny what he said.
He was afraid for his life, so he goes, "I'm gonna call you my sister." Okay. So that way, and here is the thing. Here is the thing. Did he really think of the consequences of this?
No.
No. Because could she have been married to Abimelech? Because since she's not married. Could he have lost her completely?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay? And that's what happens really. Let me explain. When there is lying involved in a relationship, you need to stop and think, is this really the right relationship? Okay? Because a basis of the relationship should be trust. Okay? I remember talking to a person back years ago when I used to work. I'm not going to tell you where, but anyway. And this particular person there was a lot of jealousy in the relationship. To a point there is zero trust. To a point the person comes home and I have to check, there is a hair on the jacket. Where did this come from? Okay? And this was going back and forth until they completely broke out. And there's no relationship. And they were married. Okay? Why? There's no trust. She doesn't trust him and he doesn't trust her. If the relationship is not built on trust and truthfulness, the relationship will probably end up the wrong way, in the wrong place. Because I have to trust the person. You know, Iman and I, that's our relationship. Our relationship is built on trust. You know, we don't question each other. Why? Because they're a foundation. And the foundation is built on us trusting each other. So if you're in a relationship and there is no trust, you need to ask yourself, why am I in that relationship if I really can't trust the person to be faithful? Yeah. So here, a woman is always looking for someone who is faithful. Okay? One of the things is, how much do we keep a secret between us? You know, when I talk to a man and we're talking about something, and then I realize she went and told like 5 people about what I told her. How do you feel about that trust now? Okay? Trust means trust. Means when I share something, I know who I'm sharing with, And I know it's not going to go outside of that. Trust. Just like a woman is looking for protection, a woman is also looking for faithfulness. Okay? Look at Malachi, the last book in the Old Testament. Malachi 2. Look at starting from verse 13 and 13 to 15.
And this is another thing you do. You cover the altar of the Lord with tears, with weeping and with groaning, because he no longer regards the offering of our offering or accepts it with favor from your hand. Yet you say, for what reason? Because the Lord has been a witness between you and the wife of your youth, against whom you have dealt treacherously, though she is your companion and your wife by covenant. But not one has done so who has a remnant of the Spirit. And what did that one do while he was seeking a godly offspring? Take heed then to your spirit, and let no one deal treacherously against the wife of your youth.
Okay. So he started off in verse 13 by saying, you're coming here to give, to do the offering, to worship, to get into my presence. However, I'm not receiving it. And then you say, well, what's the reason? Okay. And what is the reason? He speaks about verse 14 and 15.
He deals treacherously.
Exactly. He deals treacherously with who? The wife of his youth. What does it mean to deal treacherously?
Cheat.
What? To cheat, to be deceptive, to be untruthful. All of these are the same words. Okay? And then you go worship God as if nothing has happened. And then God is saying, why are you coming with offering? I'm not seeing that offering. Because the first offering is create in me a clean heart, O God, and restore a new spirit within me. That's the first thing that I need to do. Okay? But the outside need to follow the inside. God is not looking for just people to worship him with lip service but then he specifically in this area mentions his relationship. And he goes, because you are dealing in a deceptive way, in an untruthful way, with the wife of your youth, the one you made the covenant with. That's why I'm not seeing your offering. So a woman in a relationship is looking for a sense of security, a sense of protection. She's looking for someone who is faithful. Okay? The man is looking for what? We talked about? Okay? Being respected. And what else? To feel needed. Okay?
Security.
Yes. Okay? Let's take the next point quickly. Okay? A man is looking for a place of rest and peace. Okay? In the Songs of Songs, there is a lot of times when he speaks about a garden. Okay? You know what you do when you usually go to a park? You spend time in quietness. Okay? Most of men like to spend time by themselves. Okay? And you know what happens when this happens? Okay? Because a woman is seeing this, okay, I want to talk so we can have a relation, right? So what do? I keep saying, well, let's talk. Well, what's bothering you? Well, let's talk. Okay? Well, can we talk now? You know what this is going to do to a man? Annoy and irritate. Okay? So what happens is he is looking for that space of rest. Give me time to kind of clear what's going on. Okay? In a video that I looked at a while back by someone named Gongor, he said the nothing box. A man goes to his nothing box, Really nothing is going on. Okay? But, the other side of it, so do not, in a situation like this, okay, and I'm talking about in relation, not only marriage right now, even boyfriend, girlfriend, okay? In that situation, allow the man to spend time alone. Allow that space, okay? Do not use words to bring anger, okay? Like, you're always quiet like this, okay? Well, you never want to have a conversation. Always and never are horrible words to use in a conversation, by the way. Because always, that means he never does it right, okay? Never means that he just never is good enough, So when you use words like this, you're already creating tension in a conversation, okay? So a man is always looking for that place of rest, okay? Let's look at an example here. Let's look at Genesis 30. Remember, Jacob married two, right? Leah and Rachel, right? And I told you, Jacob looked at Rachel because she was beautiful. However, everything else about her that's in the Bible, not very beautiful. Okay? So let's look at one of those situations. So Genesis 30, look at verses 1 to 3.
Rachel saw that she was not bearing Jacob any children. She envied her sister. Give me sons or I will die, she said to Jacob. Jacob became angry with Rachel and said, Am I in God's place who is withheld children from you? When she said, Here's my slave, Bilhah, something or another. Go sleep with her and she will bear children for me, so that through her I can build a family.
Okay. I want you to focus on that first couple of verses. So Rachel had envy in her heart. Against who? That other one, Leah. Okay? Her sister. So how did she respond when it came to Jacob? Give me children or what? I'll die. Okay? Give me children or I'll die. Okay? How do you think, why did Jacob get angry here?
Because he was probably by himself and chilling, and then she came to bug him.
Well, he can't fix it. Exactly. He can't fix it. Okay? So, what am I doing sometimes when a man is sitting by himself trying to think of a situation, okay? And then I come and say, okay, this is bugging me and you're going to need to do something about it. Okay? That's going to create what? Tension. That's going to create immediate tension. You see here, the first thing Jacob did is what? He got angry.
He said, I'm not God.
Yeah, I'm not God. Okay? To be able to fix the problem. Okay? Sometimes what I need to do for a man is to find rest. Give him a time to have that quietness. Then start having a conversation afterwards. Or say, you know what? I'll give you this time and then let's talk later. That space will help him when you're having the conversation later on. Okay? Now let's look at a woman kind of in the same subject. A woman is looking for, and I'm going to call it an affirmation. Okay? An affirmation can be in words, in action, okay? And in physical touch. Okay? Words, action, service, okay, serving, and physical touch. Okay? So quickly we're gonna look at those three. Okay? So let's look at words. Go to Songs of Songs. Songs of Songs 5. Verse 2.
I sleep, but my heart is awake. A sound, my love is knocking. Open to me, my sister, my darling, my love, my perfect one. For my head is drenched with dew, my hair with droplets of the night.
Okay. What words is he using to describe her?
Exhaustion.
No, I'm talking about he is describing her.
My love, my perfect one.
Okay. Okay. So let's start. Okay. My sister. What does that mean? What kind of a relationship that? Close, like a friend. Okay. My love. Okay. My dove. What when you look at a dove, what does that bring to mind? Peace, right? Okay. My perfect one. Let me tell you, if you read the rest of these verses, maybe next week we'll look at them. She wasn't very perfect in that situation because she actually basically ignored him, and he left, and she had to look for him. Okay. However, how is he responding to her? My perfect one. Okay. Are these words of affirmation? Okay. So that's words of affirmation. Okay. A lot of times with men, okay, we don't use these types of words a lot. We're very short on words. Okay. You know, we don't know how to compliment, our girlfriend or my wife. Okay. We're not. And we need to learn that. Why? Because she needs that. She needs to hear that she's affirmed. Okay? Like saying, you're beautiful. Okay? That's affirmation. That's words. Words have an impact, negative or positive. Okay? And we as men need to, and I'm speaking to myself before all of you, okay? Need to learn how to affirm the person that God has put in our life that's going to be eventually my wife. We need to learn that. What does it mean to affirm them with words? And train in that. Okay, let's look at another example. Let's look at.
Can I add something to
Yes.
this verse? I
Yeah.
would say that love isn't it's not a feeling, it's a commandment, because he was like, I don't know what he was going through, but he had wet hair. He was
Working.
tired,
Yeah.
and he still wanted to show affection to her. He could have just went to the room.
Absolutely. And that's absolutely Anthony. So he's coming from work, he's tired. However, the words that's coming out is affectionate. Look at 4:7. Same book. Look at what he tells her here.
You're altogether beautiful, my darling. There is no blemish in you.
Read this again. You're all
Together beautiful, my darling. There is no blemish in you.
okay. I want to ask you, when you look at this, does everybody see it or no? What do you see? Dots. Okay, right? That's it. Okay. See dots? That's it?
There's a paper.
A spider.
White piece of paper.
Yeah. See, all of you said, I see black dots. Right? Right? That's what all of you said. I see black dots. None of you saw the white paper. You know why? Because our eyes are trained to look at what's wrong with the person. Our eyes are so trained to look at what's wrong with someone. Oh, they have 7 black dots. Oh, they have 3 black dots. Okay? Someone maybe have 20 black dots. We're trained. We're trained to look at what's wrong with the other person. But let me tell you, the beloved here didn't see black dots. And I guarantee you, she had a lot of black dots. Okay? Or he, in regardless of that situation. He didn't. Look at that verse again. What does he say?
You're altogether beautiful, my darling. There is no blemish in you.
There is no blemish in you. You and I see this. And most of the time when you are in a relationship, that's what we focus on. What's wrong with him? Or what's wrong with her?
It's a big dot.
Yeah. Well, it depends on who you are. There's, different levels of dots, But there is a whole lot of white, right, on that sheet compared to the whole small of black dots.
What I've noticed in relationships is that when you look past all that stuff, and then there ends up being like lying and deceitfulness and stuff, all that stuff starts becoming more apparent.
Absolutely. 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 Okay. Absolutely. And that's why this goes both ways, by the way. This doesn't only go, women and men. This goes both ways. Okay. But when I look at a woman, she's looking for affirmation, for words, for action. You know what action means? You serving her. When Christ wanted to serve, what did he do? He washed the disciples' feet. Okay? That's affirmation. You know what Jesus did? And I will end with those couple of verses. Go to Matthew 13. Matthew 13, verse 45 and 46.
Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant searching for fine pearls. When he found a pearl of great value, he went out and sold everything he had and bought it.
The one pearl, right? Of great value. Let me ask you, how does a pearl get made out or made up? What happens? Yeah?
A clown has like pimples inside and it makes a pearl.
Okay.
It's like made of dirt.
Dirt, yeah. Okay. So dirt goes into where? The oyster, right? Okay. Dirt goes into the oyster. Creates what? Creates what? A pearl. You know who's that pearl? Who's that dirt that goes in and creates a pearl? Yes. Did you know that you're a pearl? You're a pearl of great price. Great price to the point that someone was willing to pay everything to buy that one pearl. Let me ask you, when you speak to those words of affirmation, and this goes, like I said, on both sides, okay? What words do you speak to each other? Are they words to lift someone? Are they words that have grace? Or are they words to make sure that you are controlling, you are speaking words to put someone down so you can lift yourself up? God does not look at it this way. And then physical touch. And I'll end with that. Go back to Songs of Songs. Songs of Songs 2. Look at verse 4 to 6.
He brought me the banquet hall, and he looked on me with love. He sustain you with reasons, refresh me with sacrifice, for I am lovesick.
Verse 6.
He left my hand under his head, and his right arm embraces me.
He brought me into the banquet house. And what banner was over? Okay. What does a banner represent in the Bible? When he says his banner over me is peace. Okay. It's basically declaring, okay, you know when an army is going into a war and then they have a banner that declares who they are, okay, and what they stand for. That's what a banner is. Okay, it's a flag that you walk under. That's who you are. And he goes, his banner over me was what? Love. That's a flag that he is under. And she goes, I am lovesick. You know that you can never be lovesick with someone else until you know what it means to be lovesick with Christ. You can never know, and you can never give love to someone else. These words can never be said until you're truly lovesick when it comes to your relationship. You just can't live without him. You can't live without him. And then she said these words. His left hand is under my head, and his right hand embraces me. He's just right there. So as you look at a woman, she's looking for that touch. But as we end, I don't want you only to look at it from this perspective of a relationship. I want you to look at it from the perspective of Christ talking to you, saying, I don't see this. I don't see this. I see someone who is righteous. That's what I see. I have a banner over your life. It's called love. I am holding you. I am holding you. I am embracing you. That's what she felt. That's what God is doing in your life right now. No matter what is you're going through, He is telling you these words. My sister, my love, my perfect one. Even though you may look at yourself and say, perfect one? No, way off. But He's saying, yeah. Because I paid the price to cover that. Without that, I won't be able to give my girlfriend what she needs. I won't be able to give my boyfriend. I can't. Because I need to completely be submerged into His love to be able to give it out. So as we spend time in prayer and we spend time in worship, maybe there is things I need to deal with. Maybe I don't respect because I've never felt I am respected. Or maybe I don't accept protection because I'm not accepting protection when it comes to God covering me. That I am safe in Him. And the more I know that, it's going to change the way I look at things. So I want you to take all of these points and ask the Holy Spirit, just change me tonight. Just do something new in my life tonight. Amen? Let's pray.